You know, Ronnie, you were with me last night on our election coverage. The tax issue, wow, it was the most divisive discussion in this election. What do people need to wake up and realize this morning from all different tax brackets?
Yeah, as the other guests have stated, Alexis, our government does not have enough money to fund all of Obama's plans. We have a failure of imagination when it comes to our tax plans and our tax policies, Alexis. And what we need to know as Americans, we need a lot of money. We've got major deficits, and we're not going to collect enough revenue to pay for it all. We're going to keep borrowing, Alexis, until one day we wake up and every one of us will pay more in taxes.
That's a harsh reality to face, particularly at a time like this when we're talking about $1 trillion federal budget deficit. What could he do, given the fact that he's talking about a tax cut, but like Clinton, perhaps he won't be able to deliver much of what he's suggesting he could do?
Yes, I love to be solution-oriented, Alexis. He needs to reform our entire tax system. Remember that tax gap of $345 billion. Remember the 15% who pay no taxes, Alexis. And remember the underground community. People who work under the table for cash, pay no taxes, pay no payroll taxes. We must reform it, Alexis, and he is a preacher of change. Let him start with the IRS, change our tax rules, change the codes, and we can collect more revenue to support energy, and most importantly, to support education. We must compete with other countries.
John, let me go back to you. One of the things you mentioned is natural gas, and I've spent a lot of time talking to a man named T. Boone Pickens, who has something called the Pickens Pledge, and every single day I get another email about another member of Congress who has signed on to that plan. I know that addresses largely natural gas, but also addresses wind and solar power. Does he need to adopt some kind of plan like that? You know, he's talked about a 10-year alternative energy plan, but how specific does he have to be?
Well, you know, right now there's basically three plans. One's the Pickens plans. The other is rely on the Middle East for crude oil, or the U.S. government plan, which is no plan at all. What we need to do is get the smartest minds in our business up to Washington, inform and educate Washington in terms of our business, and then come up with a plan. We have not had an energy plan in the United States for 60 years. So unless we come up with a plan, we're going to go back. And the most interesting thing is that, you know, when gasoline prices went up to $4, it was really a tax on Americans. Mm-hmm. Now, with the economy in shambles, oil prices have moved back down, gas prices have moved back down, so that tax has gone away. But what's going to happen is once we do all the hard work to turn this economy around, and then the other economies around the world are going to turn around, oil prices are going to go right back up, and we're going to be paying $4 plus again for gasoline. So we've got to have a plan. The good news is that natural gas is plentiful in the United States, and we can use that if we get after it and we have an administration that understands what's going on.
You know, Gordon, let me go back to you about what is clearly one of the hottest topics, particularly in the state of Ohio, and that is jobs. How are we going to create jobs? I know we can do that by educating our youth, but what do you think he needs to address in terms of the opportunities he can create for many of those manufacturing jobs that you know you've lost in the state of Ohio?
Well, obviously, the issue for Ohio and the issue for, I think, the Midwest is our ability to be able to capture our young people and get them staying here in this state, not having a brain drain, and how we have to do that. And this is my point that I was making earlier, and that is we need to create the new economy. The new economy is a knowledge-based economy. We have some of the finest universities in the world right here. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, etc., and out of these institutions come enormous ideas. And what we have to do is we have to transfer those ideas into immediate kinds of opportunities for people to grow jobs and grow opportunity in this state and beyond.
Great point. All right, Gordon, John, and Ronnie, thank you guys, all three of you, for being here. Such a great conversation, and he's got a lot on his plate.
Yes,
I don't envy him.